What is up, everybody? Reynad here, and I'm going to make a video for you guys. Before we get into it, right above me, my Twitch link, twitch.tv/Reynad2. With fall classes starting, streaming schedule gets changed to Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when I'm not working, from around 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are only days I'm not working. I play a bunch of games. Come by, follow if you'd like. So today, I actually been wanting to make this video for the past, let's see, when did this video come out? About a week and a half ago? Let's see when he actually made this video. August 20th, which was around 2 weeks ago, actually. It's just YouTube still says 1 week ago. So, Reynad, as you guys know, he's a very innovative deck builder for Hearthstone. He's a very popular streamer, and he's very intuitive on how to play the game, right? He made a video 2 weeks ago. It's called Microdecisions Make Hearthstone a Better Game. And basically, I'm going to make this video an add-on to that video, because he's talking from a Magic perspective. I'm going to talk to it from a Yugioh perspective, even though the perspectives are rather similar. In this video, he talks about how micro-decisions are better. So basically what he talks about is Hearthstone in a game of itself is filled with macro decisions. If you don't know what a macro decision is, or just the phrases macro and micro, macro is very much a broad understanding of something, whereas micro is very detailed, right? If you were to take any macroeconomics or microeconomics, that's what you would see. Like macroeconomics goes with really like broad hay, supply and demand. These are terms you need to know. This is how the stock market works, kind of blah blah blah. Microeconomics goes into like really detailed the pluses and minuses of companies and whatnot, and they're actually taking both courses. I've only ever taken macro. So, but macro, let's say you're playing League of Legends, macro is map movements, very broad map movements, whereas micro in League of Legends is specific mechanics. Do you know will this item that deals 40 attack damage deal more damage than like 20% crit, right? In the long run, will your spells and your auto attacks kill a certain person for a certain amount of health? Those are the things you know with a micro decision in League of Legends. Now we're trying to apply this to Hearthstone, right? I'm also going to make this a rather short video, as short as I can. Lots of my videos are like over 15 minutes. We're going to try to make it less than 10. So, what Reynad says is, Hearthstone in and of itself is a very macro-oriented game, right? Trading, you want to make, basically, it's a game of chess, right? You're just trying to make the best play at the time, right? You're kind of looking ahead into the future, but that's not even a micro decision, right? You're saying, oh, if I play, give me an example. If I play Animal Companion on turn 3, what if I get Misha? You're going through these options in your head. If I play just simple turn 1, right? Should I play Tunnel Trog, right? Will he have a Lightning Bolt? Will he have a Frost Bolt? Mana Worm, is it good? Raven Idol, blah blah blah. You're trying to figure out a good turn 1 play. And that's a macro decision. With the release of the League of Explorers, right, I actually made a video beforehand called Discover's Competitive Future and the Theory of Pluses and Minuses. And I will link both Reynad's video and my video, my previous video in the description below, so check those out. And what my video detailed was how strong a mechanic Discover is. And what Reynad is saying in his video is Discover, the mechanic in of itself, is basically micro decisions altogether, right? So I'm going to bring up a scenario. So we have this image here. So if you look at this image, it's a board state. Now, I didn't fill out the entire board state. I filled out my side of the field, no hand, nothing else. My opponent is at 27. So let's say just giving a broad scenario here. Your opponent is a Warlock, and you can tell he's playing a Zoo deck, right? And you're playing, let's say you're playing Reno Mage, or you're playing Control Mage, or maybe even you're not going to play Jeweled Scarab in Freeze Mage, but that shouldn't matter. You're probably going to win against Zoo anyway with all your board clears. So your opponent is Zoo. That's why I have him at 27 health. He probably played a Flame in turn 1 and you disposed of it, right? Turn 2, maybe he has something on his board, and you just play Jeweled Scarab. Now, this is where micro decisions come in, right? you're given 3 choices of Jewel Scarab, which are 3-mana cards. Now, obviously, these are all 3 really good cards. I probably could have changed up the Acolyte of Pain to a different card to be even better, like a Harvest Golem. But let's just go over all 3 scenarios, right? So you're given your first scenario is Twilight Flamecaller, which is deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Now, you have a decision to take that card over the other 2 cards. And that decision you're going to do in your head is a micro decision. Should I take this Twilight Flamecaller, maybe save it for the other Twilight Flamecaller out of my deck, since Zoo runs a lot of 2 health minions. They even run 1 health minions that they boost up with Defender of Argus, the imps from Imp Gang Boss. That's one decision you can make. Should I save it for a War Clear when I get maybe if I get Blizzard or Doomsayer or something like that, Doomsayer Frost Nova, or if I get Arcane Missiles with Blood Mage Thalnos, should I do that? That's a decision you have to make. Another decision would be Ice Block, right? My opponent's playing an aggressive deck. I'm playing a control deck, right? I'm playing Reno Mage. I'm playing Control Mage. Should I take the Ice Block? Will my opponent be able to rush me down before I draw into my bigger creatures? Before I draw into my War Clears? That's another decision you have to make. And these are all going through your head for each. You only have like 90 seconds a turn, I think. I actually don't know. Is it 2 minutes? So you have that decision to make. And then the third one is Acolyte of Pain. Another one I could use was Harvest Golem. Just an effective 3-mana minion. Do I want to play this minion turn 3? Since obviously this is turn 2, I just fucked up the mana count. Of course, I think the mana count's there to begin with the website I used. But imagine you're going to be taking this card to play on turn 3, possibly. Next turn will be turn 3. So do I take the Acolyte of Pain and play it on turn 3? Or do I take the Harvest Golem and play it on turn 3 to have a minion that trades well with my opponent's minions? It'll probably 2 for 1. At least the Harvest Golem will. Harvest Golem might even 3 for 1 with the Death Rattle effect. Or Acolyte of Pain, should I trade with my opponent? Maybe clear some imps, maybe deal some damage, and then I'll draw cards, maybe possibly draw into my outs. In Yu-Gi-Oh! We call them outs, right? Dark Hole was an out. Heavy Storm was an out. Mirror Force was an out. Bottom of the shuffle. Board clears in Hearthstone could be considered outs. Blizzard. Even like Arcane Missiles or minions that did that. But this is a micro decision in Hearthstone, which is what the video that Reynad is trying to get across. Now, I'm going to put in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Senses. Reynad, tutoring a card in Magic is a micro decision. I think there's a card in Magic that lets you literally tutor any card from your deck. Now, just imagine that, right? Discover doesn't let you do that. Imagine if you could be in Hearthstone and you play the card that lets you add 1 card from your deck to your hand. Now, aside from your initial win condition, you have 20, 22, 24 cards in your deck left that you can choose from for this certain situation. Is my opponent have a lot of minions on the board right now? Do I need something to play for turn 4? Do I need something to play for turn 5? Do I need something to heal me? Do I need a taunt? You have all these decisions, these micro decisions in your head that maybe think a couple turns ahead. And I think there's a card in Magic that only lets you tutor a card from 1 card from your 60 card deck, and how strong that is. Now, of course, you have the mana system. You probably won't be able to use that card right away if it's early in the game, but you're using it for, you're going to get that card for later on, or for a situation that you see fit. It might be one of your sideboard cards, which unfortunately Hearthstone doesn't have. There's no sideboards because of CCG, you know. So let me put in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Terms right now. Yu-Gi-Oh! We had a deck called Nekroz, right? And Nekroz was a deck full of ritual summoning monsters. Now, and while they were ritual monsters, basically how a ritual monster works in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you had the ritual monster in your hand, and you had a ritual spell card in your hand. And when you played the ritual spell card, you needed to sacrifice certain levels to match the ritual monster you can special summon it. And as the game progressed and power creep started happening, there became better ways to ritual summon these monsters. I believe the mirror allows you to you banish monsters from your graveyard to summon it. Yeah. Choose monsters from your hand field and or banish Nekroz monsters from your graveyard. How fucking retarded is that? Okay, but that's not the problem, right? They also had this effect. And I'm going to read the card. You can ritual summon this card with any this card is called Nekroz of Reynad. You can ritual summon this card with any Nekroz ritual spell card. Must be ritual summoned without using Nekroz of Reynad. So you can't use that same monster as the summoning conditions, which I never even noticed, but whatever. and cannot be special summoned any other way. You can only use one of these effects of Necrozma Brightneck per turn, once per turn. So now what this card had was it had an effect in the hand, and then it had an effect while it was on the field. And the effect in the hand was you can discard this card, add one Necroz monster from your deck to your hand. Any Necroz monster, and every Necroz monster in the deck had different effects. You had one that lets you banish one from your graveyard and the battle phase. You had one that you could the fuck did Trishula do? You could even grab another one of these guys and thin out your deck. You could grab a there's a guy that negates all monster effects on the field of level 4 or higher monsters. I forget what the Unicorn. You had Trishula stopped monster effects, like you could negate a monster effect targeting a Necroz. So you were able to add these cards from your deck to your hand. You could also add a non-ritual, and Necroz had non-ritual counterparts that assisted the deck. Necrozma Brightneck is the main card of the deck. It lets you constantly search for these cards. And what it allows you to do is you could set up for next turn. You could set up for 5 turns down the line when you need your Valkyrius to negate an attack later on. So that was that. And then the Necrozma Mirror is the ritual spell card. Now, I'm going to read this aloud. Half the card doesn't even matter, right? This card can be used to ritual summon any Necroz ritual monster. Treat monsters from your hand or field, and or banish Necroz monsters from your graveyard. Then special summon one Necroz ritual monster from your hand, whose level is exactly equal to the total levels of the monsters. You can only use the effect of Necrozma Mirror once per turn. Now, listen to this. If you control no monsters, you can banish this card and one Necroz monster from your graveyard, add one Necroz spell card to your hand. And every Necroz ritual spell had a different way of special summoning Necroz. Plus, every ritual spell card in Necroz was able to do this. So there were so many Microdecisions in Yu-Gi-Oh! That are being introduced to Hearthstone through Discover. Being able to selectively choose what you want in your deck and apply them to certain situations. And that's why it will always be, and what Reynad is trying to get through in this video is how much more complex it is to use Microdecisions in Hearthstone rather than using the basic macro decisions, which is why once Blackrock Mountain completely exits the meta, which I thought it was supposed to exit a while ago, like a month ago. I guess we have a little bit. Once it exits standard format, we're gonna enter a very heavily complex meta of Hearthstone because Blackrock Mountain introduced a lot of value trading cards. It introduced Imp Gang Boss, it introduced Flame Waker, it introduced the dragons like Blackwing Technician get a free +1/+1, have a 3/5 for 3. It introduced Blackwing Corruptor, it's a free fire elemental for 5 that any deck can play. It also allowed you to play a Zerdrake without really any cost. You played a Zerdrake, drew a card, and you had this dragon that you could use. It introduced cards like Chromagus and Nefarian, who were very large monsters who you'd play later on in the game as a macro decision. Do I save this card? When do I play? Do I play at turn 9? Will my opponent have will they have an answer to it? It had Chromagus, it had just these really strong macro-based cards. And once this expansion exits the meta, I can see Hearthstone really turning into a more complex and competitive game. And that's my add-on. If you guys are interested, throw down the subscribe, hit that subscribe button. I actually put a little bit of thought into this video. It also hits 14 minutes, so I'll see you. Have a great night. Roots Watu out.